Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this June 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Sunday out there so far. I hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also have a great Sunday afternoon, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we'll talk about Tropical Storm Cindy, which will kind of fall apart by tomorrow afternoon, but may re-strengthen later on as it continues to lift off to the north. Also, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation. We're going to take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location, and also take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, Monday, and Tuesday. Okay, if you're a new viewer and have not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Love to have you. Like these videos, share these videos, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. Alrighty, and we're going to dive into your forecast now. Alright, we're taking a look at the satellite imagery across the tropical Atlantic. This is Tropical Storm Cindy. You can see the swirl here. All the convection is well off to the east and northeast of the center. It's kind of getting the dry air is punching in on the west side of the system, pushing most of the activity off to the east side of the system. Looks like another little system trying to get developed here, right around this area here. But the main circulation is currently over here. You can see it swirling here, but it's trying to get another area of low pressure to develop, look like right over here, and which is trying to get its act together. But I don't think it's going to win out too much on Cindy. All right. We're expecting Tropical Storm Cindy should be weakened into a tropical depression and maybe just a remnant low by Monday afternoon. So let's take a look at the forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center for today. This will be the 11 a.m. advisory from Tropical Storm Cindy, and as you can see, it becomes a tropical depression by 8 a.m. Monday, and then a remnant low later on in the day. This is the 11 a.m. advisory, currently located near latitude 20.9 north, 58.0 west. Movement was to the northwest at 17 miles per hour, and the maximum sustained winds are currently at 45 miles per hour, and that classified as a tropical storm with winds of 39 miles per hour to 73 miles per hour, and as it continues to weaken, it will become a tropical depression, and then that will be a post-tropical cyclone as soon as it becomes 39 miles per hour or less. Okay, let's take a look at the forecast track. This is by the hurricane models. Currently keeps it going to the northwest, then to the north. Bermuda, you still gonna get some showers and storms off of this system. Here's Bermuda right here. Even though most of the models keeping the track the center of the storm to the east of you, but you will still get some impacts off of this storm with some gusty winds and some locally heavy rainfall as it continues to travel off to the north. It may also affect the appearing portion of Newfoundland and Nova Scotia areas. So anybody up in this area here need to keep an eye on this system here, because if Cindy did happen to regain strength, it could make a run for you guys up here in Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. Alright, let's take a look at the intensity guidance for Tropical Storm Cindy. Currently, we have winds of about 40 knots. That equals up 45 mile per hour wind. See, most of the models drops it down into tropical depression, but they do re-strengthen it back into a tropical storm. So don't let your guard down, because Cindy could reappear in the next several days, may become a tropical storm again. But right now, currently, all models are showing it dropping off to a, and that's what I'm going to go with right now as well. But it could intensify back to a tropical storm after it passes Bermuda, but that's only about a 50-50 shot, so not very high of an odds. Alright, and now let's go ahead and take a look at the weather right here. We got scattered showers over southeast Canada, also over toward eastern Canada, southeast Canada, also through Maine. Scattered activity through all the way through New York, down into Pennsylvania, West Virginia, also into portion of Virginia. Got more widespread showers and storms off in the coastal waters, moving over toward the northern Bahamas, down toward the Florida Keys, and then over towards southern. Then it will move on into the central Bahamas and maybe northern Cuba. I'm watching this little system here. Survive over the mountains. It may re-energize back over the upstate of South Carolina and maybe move towards the Midlands of South Carolina uh, later on this evening. So I just want to let everybody know that. So don't be surprised. Maybe between 7 and midnight, maybe some areas in South Carolina, North Carolina, maybe portions of Georgia might hear a few rumbles of thunder. And maybe a possible strong to severe storm possible as well. We're going to have more chance of severe weather tomorrow because we do have much of the area under slight risk. So have it in your Storm Prediction Center outlook as well. We got more widespread showers and storms up here in southern Canada. Back in also more scattered to widespread showers over Michigan, also into Minnesota, also in the portion of Iowa. Got some scattered activity over Indiana, in Ohio, portion of Michigan. Also, we got some more scattered showers over here in portion of southwest Canada, also Idaho, and also into portions of Oregon. We got a lot of scattered showers and storms around the Guam Island currently. In central and southern and southwest Alaska, got some showers. Maybe a few of the, maybe some areas could even see a few snow showers as well there too. Also around the Hawaiian chain island, got a few scattered showers there as well. All right, let's move on to the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location across the nation. As you can see, we got air quality alert for Maine down in a portion of New Hampshire and Vermont. Also, we got those gale warnings also in effect for portions of eastern North Carolina from the Outer Banks down towards down toward Morehead City and Newport area. Also, we got some air quality alerts also in portions of northern portion of Minnesota. Beach statements for portion of Wisconsin, also portion of Minnesota. Also, we got a flood warning for an area right there for flash flooding in portion of North Dakota. Flash flood watches also in effect for northwestern portions of Washington State. Them river flood warnings still continue for South Dakota, over here portion of Wyoming, also into Nebraska, portion of northeast Colorado, and also over here in Nevada as well. Air quality alert over here in portion of Arizona. Also, we got some red flag warnings in effect for you guys here in southeastern portions of Arizona. Also got special weather statements for portions of Colorado, also southeast Utah and northwestern portions of New Mexico. Air quality alerts also for portions of Colorado, some flood warnings for area rivers there and as well. Also, we got a flash flood warning also in effect for portions of North Dakota. And we got several areas here with heat advisory extending from portions of southern New Mexico through Texas, all the way into Louisiana, all the way through much of Mississippi, southwestern Alabama, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern portion of Illinois, southeast Missouri, much of Arkansas, and southeastern portions of Oklahoma with heat advisories. Excessive heat warnings are in effect for portions of southeastern New Mexico, western Texas, central Texas, eastern Texas, southeast Oklahoma, western portion of Louisiana, southern Texas, and a couple counties right there in portions of southern Louisiana. Also, we have some river flood warnings also in effect for portions of Mississippi there as well. We got some wind advisories over portions of Alaska, and also some gale warnings, and also some wind advisory over portions of the Hawaiian chain islands as well. All right, Storm Prediction Center time. Here we go. Alrighty, as you can see, we got a general thunderstorm from Maine down through portions of South Carolina, all the way down to the Gulf Coast region, also in central and southern Florida, including the Florida Keys, also back to Louisiana, back into ports of Texas, all the way back up to Wisconsin, also into ports of Minnesota, and also into portions of northeastern portions of Iowa. More general thunderstorms expected over Montana, portions of northern Washington State, through Oregon, all the way to northern California, Nevada, all the way back in the northern portion of Colorado, western Nebraska, and southwestern portions of South Dakota. Marginal risk over here in portions of southeast Wyoming. Marginal risk over here in portions of southwestern portion, central and southwestern portion of Montana, also into Idaho. Marginal risk also in portions of Michigan through Ohio, also into ports of upstate South Carolina, down to the Gulf Coast, through Louisiana, that is, all the way into port of Oklahoma. We have a slight risk and an enhanced risk extending from Michigan all the way down to Mississippi and Alabama, also Louisiana, include all through Mississippi, through Tennessee, all the way into Kentucky, and also into Ohio and Indiana. If you're in the enhanced risk, this includes Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio. Slight risk, Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, Birmingham, Alabama, Akron, Ohio. Also the marginal risk, this includes Atlanta, Georgia, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Shreveport, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, and Columbus, Georgia. Tornado probability for today. We have a 2% in the green, 5% in the brown, 10%. The significant tornado threat would be over Indiana and also portion of Ohio and northern portion of Kentucky. The significant, and this is the cities included: Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Dayton, Ohio, and Louisville, Wayne, Indiana, Dayton, Ohio, Muncie, Indiana. 5%, Indianapolis, Indiana, Toledo, Ohio, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky, Bloomington, Indiana, Springfield, Ohio. 2%, Columbus, Ohio, Nashville, Tennessee, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Lansing, Michigan, and Evansville, Indiana. And the high winds for damaging winds, 5% over in Montana, back in Idaho, according to Wyoming. 5% in the brown over here from Michigan to Georgia to Louisiana. 15% in the yellow. Then from Michigan, Memphis, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky. As soon as this thing refreshes, we're gonna get back to it. Okay, now here we go. We're back to it now. So, all right, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 30%. Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky. 15%. Detroit, Michigan, Indianapolis, Indiana, Cleveland, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, Birmingham, Alabama. 5%. Atlanta, Georgia, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Shreveport, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, and Columbus, Georgia. Excuse me. And take a look at the hail probability. 5% over here in Port of Wyoming and Nebraska. Also up here from Michigan down to Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. 15% yellow from Michigan all the way down to northern Alabama, northern Mississippi, back into Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. 30 in the red, 30% over pretty much Arkansas. Also into Kentucky, back into Indiana and Ohio. If you're in the significant severe hail risk, this includes Indianapolis, Indiana, Memphis, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky. 30%, Indianapolis, Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Little Rock, Arkansas, Muncie, Indiana. Also 15%, Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Toledo, Ohio, and Cincinnati, Ohio. 5%, Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, Atlanta, Georgia, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Akron, Ohio. All right, now let's take a look at day number 2. This will be your Monday. We have general thunderstorm from Maine all the way down to the Florida Keys, back over to portion of Arkansas and Oklahoma. North Texas, all the way into portions of South Dakota and North Dakota, all the way back over to portions of Washington, Oregon State, and California, Nevada. Also back, we have a marginal rift over here, portions of Nebraska, South Dakota, also into Wyoming and southern Montana. Marginal rift also from up here from Connecticut, Boston, all the way down to the Florida Panhandle, North Florida through Georgia to Carolinas. Excuse me. Also, we have a slight rift of severe weather extending from the Washington, D.C. area, also Maryland vicinity, Pennsylvania area, Philadelphia, all the way down into South Carolina. We have an enhanced rift over North Carolina and Virginia up to Washington, D.C. The enhanced rift includes Raleigh, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, and Cary, North Carolina. Slight rift, New York, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland, Charlotte, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., and I'm going to add Columbia, South Carolina as well. Marginal rift, Boston, Massachusetts, Atlanta, Georgia, Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, and Providence, Rhode Island. Take a look at the tornado probability for tomorrow, 2% from North Carolina all the way into portions of Washington, D.C. area, plus over here portions of Nebraska all the way into portions of Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota. If you're in these areas, this includes Raleigh, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, and surrounding areas. Winds, we have 5% over here, portions of Nebraska back into Montana, 5% up here around Boston and Connecticut down to the Florida Panhandle, 15% up here from Pennsylvania all the way down to South Carolina, 30% over in North Carolina back into Virginia. This includes Raleigh, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Cary, North Carolina, 15%. New York, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland, Charlotte, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., 5%, Boston, Massachusetts, Atlanta, Georgia, Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, and Providence, Rhode Island. Hail probability for tomorrow, 5%, still over here, portion of Nebraska, back into portion of Montana, Wyoming. Also again from portion of Washington, Boston and Connecticut down to Florida Panhandle, excuse me. 15% from Pennsylvania down to South Carolina. Yep, the yellow slashed area, that's a significant area for large hail over 2 inches in diameter. This includes Charlotte, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Arlington, Virginia. 15%, New York, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland, Charlotte, North Carolina, Washington, D.C. 5%, Boston, Massachusetts, Atlanta, Georgia, Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, and Providence, Rhode Island. Alright, let's move on to day 3, and then we're going to wrap this video up for severe weather on your Tuesday. We still have a general thunderstorm from Maine all the way down to Georgia, Carolina, down to the Florida Keys, back in the portion of Mississippi and Alabama. Also in Arkansas, back to Washington State, also in the portion of Oregon and California. Marginal rift over here again in portions of North and South Dakota, also Montana and Wyoming. Also again, marginal rift extending from portions of Boston, New York State, all the way down into eastern South Carolina, down toward the Savannah region of Georgia. And if you're in the marginal rift, include New York, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Virginia Beach, Virginia, New Jersey, and Norfolk, Virginia. And the probability, 5% over here in South Dakota, back into Montana. And also again from New York down to South Carolina and Georgia around the Savannah area. This includes New York, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Newark, New Jersey, and Norfolk, Virginia. Alright, well I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Everybody continue to stay safe and well. Enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, and we'll catch you back in the next one.